As our narrative unfolds, we stand at the brink of a profound discovery. The elusive essence of perfection draws us nearer, yet with every advance, we feel the pull of our humanity slipping away. As we plunge deeper into the mysteries of existence, we encounter a truth both captivating and disquieting. The lines between ambition and estrangement blur, prompting us to scrutinize the very essence of our existence. In this enigmatic pursuit of enlightenment, we confront the unsettling prospect that the relentless quest for perfection may lead us to a realm devoid of the richness and compassion that define our humanity. In the depths of the ocean, an enigma unfolds, shrouded in mystery and uncertainty. As we navigate the uncharted waters, as we grapple with the unknown, seeking to unravel its secrets. Yet, beneath the surface, lies a realm of intrigue and fascination where nature defies our understanding. In our pursuit of knowledge, we tamper with the natural order, bending it to our will. But in our arrogance, we risk unleashing forces beyond our control, giving rise to aberrations that defy explanation. The line between progress and peril blurs as our own ingenuity teeters on the brink of catastrophe. In this vast expanse of the unknown, the stakes are high and the consequences dire. What lies beneath the waves holds the key to our fate, a truth both tantalizing and terrifying. In our relentless quest to unravel the enigma of perfection, it appears that the more we grasp its elusive essence, the more we slip away from the core of our humanity. As we venture deeper into the abyss, we confront the limits of our understanding and the dark forces that lurk within. My name is Dr. LaShawn Dockery, a senior scientist specializing in human and DNA genetics. My reputation echoes through the corridors of scientific discourse, a whispered testament to my involvement in the chilling experiment unfolding beneath the waves. Armed with knowledge in the esoteric domains of human biological DNA and the enigmatic world of cephalopods genetics, my mission is clear: to delve into the depths of cross-species, gene splicing, and unlock the mysteries that lie within. As we venture into the ocean's depths, we confront its enigmatic vastness, knowing that over 90% remains unexplored, concealing secrets more profound than the Earth's surface. Our submarine descends on a clandestine journey to the submerged research laboratory, an outpost of mysteries hidden beneath the waves. With each fathom we plunge, a chilling anticipation grips us, for we tread into the unknown, where darkness and secrecy reign supreme. The icy embrace of the abyss envelops us as we press forward, our hearts heavy with both excitement and trepidation. We are but specks in the vast expanse, delving into realms untouched by human eyes. As the pressure mounts and the shadows deepen, whispers of ancient secrets echo through the water, stirring emotions beyond comprehension. We brace ourselves for the revelations that await, knowing that our journey will lead us to the very heart of the ocean's mysteries, where truth and terror intertwine in the cold embrace of the deep. Our vessel navigates the frigid depths, a silent sentinel breaching the threshold between light and darkness. Below lies our destination, shrouded in secrecy, a covert underwater base known only as the Neptune Research Station. 2 miles beneath the ocean's surface, nestled near San Nicolas Island off the coast of California, it beckons us with promises of forbidden knowledge. Accompanying me on this harrowing journey are esteemed colleagues, each bearing their own burden of expertise and intrigue. Dr. Clifton Roberts, a scholar of human biology and genetics, his gaze piercing the veil of the unknown. And my faithful assistant, Dr. Henry Phillips, his expertise in cephalopods DNA serving as a beacon of hope in the murky depths. As we descend into the abyss, a palpable sense of foreboding hangs heavy in the air. The darkness outside presses against the submarine's hull like an invisible adversary threatening to swallow us whole. Yet, we press on, driven by the allure of discovery and the weight of our scientific obligations. Our assignment looms before us, an odyssey into the heart of the ocean's darkness, a journey that will test the limits of our sanity and our humanity. 6 months to a year beneath the waves, isolated from the world above, our minds adrift in a sea of uncertainty. We are but pawns in a grand cosmic experiment, our fate intertwined with the enigmatic forces that dwell in the ocean's depths. With each passing moment, the line between researcher and subject blurs, our identities consumed by the vastness of the abyss. In the depths of Neptune Research Station, secrets long buried rise to the surface, whispering of horrors yet unseen and truths better left undiscovered. And as we descend further into the ocean's embrace, we can only wonder what mysteries and terrors await us in the unfathomable darkness below. Beneath the crushing weight of the ocean's embrace, the Neptune Research Station emerges from the depths like a beacon of forbidden knowledge. Its imposing silhouette looms in the darkness, a fortress of mystery and intrigue hidden from the prying eyes of the surface world. Within its steel-clad walls lie secrets darker than the abyss itself. As we breach the threshold of this enigmatic facility, a chill settles over my soul. The air is heavy with anticipation, every whisper echoing through the labyrinthine corridors like a harbinger of doom. State-of-the-art equipment glints ominously in the dim light, a stark reminder of the power wielded by those who dare to tread these hallowed halls. Dr. Gene Coleman, a maestro of sea life genetics, his intellect a maze of enigmatic wisdom, extends a solemn welcome as we step into the Neptune Research Station. His greeting is accompanied by a subtle nod, his eyes tinged with apprehension, hinting at the shadows lurking within the facility's depth. In the oppressive silence, his voice is but a whisper, guiding us deeper into the heart of the station. Here, amidst the eerie illumination of the embryonic chambers, our odyssey takes a foreboding twist. Within the confines of these glass prisons lies Sephus, the culmination of years of twisted experimentation, the unholy union of humanoid DNA and cephalopod genetics. As I gaze upon this abomination of nature, a shiver courses down my spine. Sephus's eyes, gleaming with unnatural intelligence, bore into my soul with a hunger that chills me to the core. Dr. Coleman's words are measured, his voice heavy with the weight of our sins. He speaks of Sephus' creation with a mixture of pride and remorse, his hands trembling as he gestures towards the grotesque figure before us. It is clear that he harbors secrets darker than the abyss itself, secrets that threaten to consume us all. Dr. Coleman, it's unbelievable. We've pushed the boundaries of genetic manipulation so far that Sephus, a hybrid of cephalopod and humanoid DNA, is actually possible.
Indeed, Dr. Dockery. Sephus represents a groundbreaking feat in genetic engineering, marking our successful crossover into the realm of splicing DNA from two distinct species, a true scientific marvel.
In the presence of Sephus, I am overcome by a sense of dread unlike anything I have ever known. It is as if the very fabric of reality is unraveling before my eyes, revealing horrors beyond comprehension. And as we stand on the precipice of this abyss, I can only pray that we have not unleashed forces beyond our control, forces that hunger for nothing less than the destruction of us all. As the conversation unfolded between Dr. Roberts and Dr. Phillips about the advanced AI integration into our project, an unsettling feeling crept over me. I couldn't shake the sensation that Sephus, the hybrid creation of human and cephalopod DNA, was watching my every move. His eyes, unnervingly fixated on me, tracked my movements around his enclosure. It became apparent that the advanced AI technology had given Sephus a heightened awareness, a level of cognition beyond our initial expectations. With the revelation of this breakthrough in AI DNA sequencing and mapping, the true potential of cross-species integration loomed before us like a dark omen. Our discussions about the future implications and discoveries took on a somber tone as we monitored Sephus's behavior in the research laboratory. Each subtle shift in his demeanor seemed to hint at a deeper understanding, a connection to the vast intelligence now coursing through his hybrid form. As we delved deeper into our meetings, grappling with the ethical and scientific implications of our research, a sense of foreboding settled over us like a shroud. The line between creator and creation blurred in the presence of Sephus, his existence posing profound questions about the nature of consciousness and the boundaries of humanity. In the dimly lit confines of the research laboratory, Sephus's presence cast a chilling shadow over our endeavors. His gaze, both curious and calculating, seemed to pierce through the veil of our intentions, leaving us vulnerable and exposed. With each passing moment, the weight of our responsibility grew heavier, burdened by the knowledge that we had ventured into uncharted territory, playing with forces beyond our control. Despite our best efforts to maintain a facade of composure, the tension among us was palpable, a silent acknowledgement of the uncertainty that lay ahead. As we grappled with the consequences of our creation, a sense of unease settled over the Neptune research station, a harbinger of the trials yet to come. In the face of the unknown, we stood on the palisade of discovery and danger, our fates intertwined with that of Sephus. The chilling reality of our situation became all too clear. We had opened Pandora's box, and now we must confront the consequences, whatever they may be. As Sephus's brain mass expanded, a chilling sense of awe seized us, shrouding our minds in disbelief. The once docile creature, now a vessel of rapid evolution, defied all logic as its limbs sprouted and contorted into an unearthly configuration. Dr. Coleman's cautionary words reverberated in our ears, a stark reminder of the peril that lurked within Sephus's domain. Despite his warnings, an irresistible urge beckoned me closer, drawing me into the heart of the unfolding mystery. Within the enclosure, the juxtaposition of aquatic toys against Sephus's evolving form created an eerie tableau, accentuating the profound transformation taking place. As Sephus engaged with its surroundings, a palpable sense of awareness emanated from its gaze, reminiscent of a child encountering the world anew. Each movement, each gesture, spoke volumes of an insatiable curiosity and an unquenchable thirst for understanding. We stood transfixed, caught between fascination and apprehension, as Sephus's evolution unfolded with unsettling clarity. It was a testament to the boundless potential of genetic manipulation, a chilling reminder of the depths of the unknown that lay beyond our comprehension. In the presence of this enigmatic being, we were but mere observers, grappling with the profound implications of our scientific endeavors and the relentless march of progress into uncharted territory. Dr. Roberts, Sephus is thriving. Its learning curve is remarkable.
Dr. Dockery, every time you enter the lab, Sephus pauses to watch you.
Cephas's brain mass is expanding, and it's growing arms and legs. Its intelligence level is now comparable to that of a 4-year-old child, achieved in just a few hours.
Sephus's tentacle darted towards me, hurling a beach ball my way, freezing me in shock. Driven by instinct, I seized the ball and edged closer to its watery domain, intending to return it. But as I neared, Sephus's gaze bore into mine with an eerie intensity, its tentacle inching ominously closer. A wave of terror engulfed me. In a frantic bid to protect me, Dr. Roberts intervened, wielding an electrical prong device to shock Sephus's tentacle just in time. The air crackled with tension as the creature recoiled, a stark reminder of its enigmatic and evolving nature. The incident left us reeling, our sense of security shattered by the realization that Sephus's intelligence surpassed our wildest expectations. With each passing moment, the line between scientific exploration and peril blurred, plunging us deeper into an abyss of uncertainty. We grappled with the chilling truth that we were no longer in control, mere pawns in a game where the stakes were our very survival. As Sephus's capabilities unfolded, our once bold curiosity transformed into a chilling awareness of the horrors we had unleashed. Each encounter with the creature became a harrowing dance with death, pushing us to the brink of madness as we struggled to comprehend the true extent of its power. Sephus writhed in torment, its form contorting as it changed hues, a symphony of agony etched across its features. Its eyes, once gentle and curious, now blazed with a menacing fury as they locked onto Dr. Roberts and the menacing prong device. In that moment, a chilling wave of empathy washed over me, as if I could sense Sephus's pain, anger, and anguish all at once. The air crackled with tension, thick with the weight of the creature's suffering and our own apprehension. Dr. Roberts hesitated, his resolve faltering in the face of the creature's raw anguish. But as Sephus's cries echoed through the chamber, a flicker of determination ignited within him. With a steely resolve, he pressed forward, the electrical prong device poised to deliver another shock. Time seemed to slow to a crawl as the device made contact with Sephus's trembling tentacle. A surge of electricity crackled through the air, mingling with the creature's anguished cries. For a moment, the world held its breath, suspended in a haunting tableau of pain and defiance. And then, as suddenly as it had begun, the moment passed, leaving us shaken and uncertain of what horrors still lay ahead. Dr. Roberts, why would you do such a thing?
Apologies all. I believed Sephus posed a threat to Dr. Dockery. Dr. Coleman had cautioned us against approaching Sephus too closely.
Sephus's transformation into a deep, abyssal blackness sent shivers down my spine, a chilling manifestation of its wrath. Its gaze, fixated on Dr. Roberts, dripped with disdain, as if condemning him for his actions. The sight was reminiscent of the defensive tactics used by cephalopods in the wild when confronted with danger. Despite the warning signs, I approached Sephus's enclosure cautiously, my heart heavy with guilt and remorse. As I drew nearer, I sensed a shift in Sephus's demeanor, a subtle easing of its hostility. Its color gradually returned to a neutral hue, a silent acknowledgement of my presence. It was as if Sephus could sense the depth of my sympathy and regret, understanding that my intentions were not rooted in malice, but in misguided concern. In that moment, a profound connection formed between us, bridging the vast chasm that separated human and hybrid. My empathy for Sephus, born from the realization of my inadvertent role in the unfolding turmoil, washed over me like a tidal wave. Despite the inherent danger lurking within its evolving form, I couldn't help but feel a profound sense of responsibility towards this enigmatic being, a sentiment that would shape the course of our future interactions. As night descended upon the Neptune research station, an eerie silence enveloped the corridors, thick with the residue of tension lingering from the day's events. The weight of our encounter with Sephus hung heavy in the air, casting a pall over our weary souls as we retreated to our respective quarters in search of solace. Each step down the dimly lit hallway felt like a journey into the unknown, the shadows looming ominously around us. Behind closed doors, the darkness seemed to seep through the walls, wrapping us in its suffocating embrace. The memory of Sephus's unsettling transformation replayed in my mind, a haunting specter that refused to be exorcised. As I settled into my bunk, exhaustion weighed heavily upon me, yet sleep remained elusive. The mere thought of Sephus, lurking somewhere within the confines of the research station, sent shivers down my spine. Was it truly resting, or was it merely biding its time, waiting to unleash its wrath once more? The blaring alarm jolted me from my slumber, sending a surge of adrenaline coursing through my veins. Gear in hand, I dashed down the dimly lit hallway, joined by Dr. Coleman and Dr. Phillips. Dread coiled in the pit of my stomach as we reached the main research laboratory, where a scene of horror awaited us. Dr. Roberts lay motionless, a haunting spectre in the dim glow of the lab lights. We rushed to his side, but it was too late. His lifeless form bore witness to the unfathomable tragedy that had unfolded before our eyes. Questions swirled in our minds, each more terrifying than the last. How could this have happened? What malevolent force lurked within the depths of our underwater sanctuary? As we grappled with the shock of Dr. Roberts' death, our gaze turned to Sephus, oblivious to the chaos that had erupted around it. The creature played innocently with its aquatic toys, a stark contrast to the horror that had befallen us. Yet in its serene demeanor lay a chilling reminder of the unknown dangers that lurked within its evolving form. The weight of our isolation pressed down upon us like the crushing depths of the ocean itself. Trapped 2 miles below the surface, with no immediate means of escape, we were prisoners of our own making. Fear gnawed at the edges of our sanity, threatening to consume us whole. In the suffocating darkness of the research station, the line between reality and nightmare blurred, and the spectre of death loomed ever closer. With each passing moment, the chill of uncertainty gripped us tighter, casting a shadow over our fleeting hopes of survival. With each passing moment, the silence grew deafening, punctuated only by the distant hum of machinery. Alone in the darkness, I couldn't shake the feeling of unease that gnawed at my insides. The night stretched on endlessly, a treacherous journey through the labyrinth of my own fears.
Dr. Coleman, it appears that Dr. Roberts has taken his own life.
Dr. Phillips, there's a syringe by Dr. Roberts. Why would he inject himself with poison? Can you analyze its contents?
Dr. Coleman, we all left the lab together. It's strange that Dr. Roberts would come back. The shadow of death cast a chilling pall over our team. Dr. Phillips meticulously analyzed the contents of the syringe, revealing a lethal dose of morphine. As the truth sank in, we solemnly laid Dr. Roberts to rest in the morgue, preparing for a somber ceremony. Questions gnawed at our minds. Why would Dr. Roberts choose to end his own life? Meanwhile, amidst the fog of grief, Sephus's evolution surged forward with alarming speed. Its once amorphous limbs now took on a distinctly humanoid form, a sight that both mesmerized and unsettled us. We watched in awe as it gracefully navigated its enclosure, a living enigma unfolding before our very eyes. But our fascination turned to disbelief when Sephus, with deliberate precision, began etching intricate equations onto the glass of its enclosure. Using an eerie black substance secreted from its fingers, Sephus charted a course through the realm of mathematics, defying the boundaries of comprehension. Each stroke of its appendage sent shivers down our spines, a chilling reminder of the enigmatic intelligence lurking within its evolving form. As we grappled with the dual mysteries of Dr. Roberts's demise and Sephus's inexplicable abilities, a sense of foreboding gripped us. The line between scientific curiosity and existential dread blurred, leaving us teetering on the precipice of the unknown. With each passing moment, the shadows deepened, enveloping us in a web of uncertainty from which there seemed to be no escape. Dr. Phillips delved deeper into the enigma of Dr. Roberts's demise, his every move shadowed by the weight of unanswered questions. As he meticulously combed through the evidence, a palpable sense of unease hung heavy in the air, a chilling reminder of the darkness that lurked beneath the surface. Meanwhile, Sephus's keen gaze followed Dr. Phillips's every move, its unsettling intelligence seemingly attuned to the unfolding investigation. With each passing moment, the divide between man and beast blurred, leaving us to grapple with the unnerving reality of Sephus's evolving intellect. As Dr. Coleman and I observed Sephus's cryptic behavior, a sense of foreboding gripped us. The equations etched into its enclosure were unlike anything we had ever seen, their complexity defying rational explanation. It was as if Sephus had unlocked the secrets of the universe itself, delving into realms of science and alchemy beyond human comprehension. But what chilled us to the bone was the nature of these equations. They hinted at a sinister truth, a twisted path that led to the very essence of our humanity. With each stroke of its appendage, Sephus seemed to unravel the fabric of our existence, blurring the lines between science and sorcery. As the implications of Sephus's actions dawned on us, a sense of dread settled over our team. The prospect of tampering with human and aquatic amphibian DNA, crossing the threshold into unknown territory, filled us with a profound sense of terror. We stood on the precipice of a dark and uncertain future, our fate intertwined intertwined with that of the enigmatic being that slumbered in our midst. In the shadow of Dr. Roberts's mysterious death and Sephus's ominous revelations, we found ourselves adrift in a sea of uncertainty. The boundaries of morality and science blurred, leaving us to navigate a treacherous path fraught with peril. With each passing moment, the darkness closed in around us, threatening to consume us whole in its insatiable maw. Dr. Coleman, Sephus is even smarter than we imagined.
Absolutely, it appears, Dr. Dockery. We're no longer the most intelligent ones present.
In the shadow of uncertainty, we made the harrowing decision to relocate Sephus to a larger enclosure, hoping to unlock the secrets hidden within its cryptic equations. Dr. Coleman and I exchanged cautious glances, our voices hushed in fear of Sephus's unnerving intelligence. Even as we worked in silence, Dr. Phillips continued his relentless pursuit of truth, his every step haunted by the spectre of Dr. Roberts's demise. Sephus's gaze bore into Dr. Phillips with an intensity that sent shivers down our spines, its inscrutable mind seemingly unraveling the threads of our reality. Sensing an opportunity, Dr. Coleman braved the unknown, attempting to establish a line of communication with the enigmatic being. Using writing as our medium, Sephus responded to Dr. Coleman's overtures with a series of complex equations, their meaning shrouded in mystery. Dr. Coleman struggled to decipher the arcane language of Sephus's mind, each symbol a tantalizing clue to the puzzle before us. In a bold move, Dr. Coleman introduced Sephus to the concept of the alphabet, a gesture born of desperation and hope. To our astonishment, Sephus grasped the concept with lightning speed, its intellect far surpassing our wildest expectations. As Dr. Coleman urged Sephus to slow its frenetic pace, a sense of urgency gripped us. The lines between man and monster blurred, our fate entwined with that of the enigmatic being that lurked within the depths of our research station. As the eerie silence settled over the main research laboratory, Dr. Coleman and I reluctantly succumbed to the exhaustion gnawing at our bones, seeking solace in the refuge of our quarters. However, Dr. Phillips, consumed by an insatiable thirst for answers, remained steadfast in his vigil within the laboratory's confines, delving deeper into the enigma of Sephus's intelligence and the haunting spectre of Dr. Roberts's untimely demise. With heavy hearts, Dr. Coleman and I bid him farewell for the night, our minds clouded with unease and apprehension. The dim glow of the laboratory's lights cast long, menacing shadows, amplifying the palpable sense of dread that permeated the air. As I lay in my bunk, the weight of uncertainty bore down upon me like a suffocating blanket, each passing moment fraught with whispered fears and unspoken doubts. Dr. Phillips's solitary figure, illuminated by the soft luminescence of his workstation, stood as a solitary beacon amidst the encroaching darkness, a lone sentinel in a realm of shifting shadows and unspoken secrets. Outside the confines of our quarters, the rhythmic hum of the laboratory's machinery served as a haunting reminder of the mysteries that lurked within its depths. With each passing second, the line between reality and nightmare blurred, the boundaries of reason fraying at the edges. As sleep eluded me, my thoughts drifted inexorably back to Sephus, his inscrutable gaze haunting my dreams with visions of untold possibilities and unspoken horrors. In the silence of the night, the laboratory's walls seemed to whisper secrets known only to the shadows, their cryptic messages echoing in the recesses of my mind.
Dr. Henry Phillips, are you able to hear me? Dr. Phillips.
Who's there? Who's speaking?
Dr. Phillips, come here, Doctor.
Sephus, are you communicating telepathically with me?
Yes. Dr. Phillips, come to my enclosure now.
I will obey, Sephus. You are the master.
With a jolt, I sprung from my bunk, heart pounding in my chest as I raced down the corridor towards the main laboratory, Dr. Coleman hot on my heels. The air thickened with dread as we approached, and horror seized us as we beheld the gruesome sight of Dr. Phillips's lifeless body inside the enclosure that once housed Sephus. His vacant stare chilled me to the core, a silent testament to the unfathomable tragedy that had unfolded. In disbelief, we stood frozen, grappling with the grim reality before us. How could this have happened? Dr. Phillips, a seasoned scientist, now lay motionless in the very pool he knew he couldn't swim in. As Dr. Coleman and I exchanged troubled glances, a chilling realization crept over me like a shadow in the night. There was something deeply unsettling about the events unfolding in our midst, something beyond the realm of rational explanation. As we huddled together, voices hushed with apprehension, a sense of foreboding hung heavy in the air. What secrets lay buried within the depths of Sephus's enclosure? What dark forces were at play in our secluded underwater haven? With each passing moment, the answers eluded us, slipping through our fingers like grains of sand in the tide. Yet beneath the surface of uncertainty, I sensed a sinister presence lurking, biding its time until the moment of reckoning. As Sephus underwent a chilling transformation, his once familiar form warped into something unsettlingly humanoid. The air in the research center grew heavy with unease as we confronted the grim reality of Dr. Phillips's demise. With another life claimed by the shadows, the weight of loss pressed upon us like a suffocating shroud, leaving only Dr. Coleman and me to grapple with the mounting dread. As the investigation into Dr. Phillips's death unfolded, the sinister toll of our underwater ordeal became painfully clear. With each passing moment, the spectre of death loomed closer, its icy fingers reaching out to claim us one by one. Yet, amidst the chilling uncertainty, I made the fateful decision to remain in the main laboratory, determined to confront the darkness lurking within. With Dr. Coleman retreating to the solace of sleep, I braced myself for the long hours ahead, the oppressive silence of the research center, a stark reminder of the perilous abyss that surrounded us. As fatigue weighed heavily upon my weary frame, I succumbed to the relentless pull of exhaustion, drifting into a fitful slumber tinged with the whispers of unsettling dreams. In the dim glow of the evening lights, my mind became a battleground of haunting visions and half-formed fears, the line between reality and nightmare blurring into a murky haze. Shadows danced upon the walls, casting eerie shapes that seemed to twist and writhe with a life of their own, a chilling reminder of the malevolent forces that lurked in the darkness. As the night wore on, I remained trapped in a surreal limbo, suspended between the waking world and the realm of dreams. Each passing moment seemed to stretch into eternity, the oppressive weight of the unknown pressing down upon me with relentless force. In the heart of the research center, surrounded by the chilling silence of the deep, I awaited the dawn with bated breath, knowing that the horrors that awaited us in the light of day were far worse than any nightmare imaginable. As the night fell in the research laboratory.
Dr. Dockery, are you able to hear me?
Who's there?
Dr. Phillips unfortunately fell into the pool. It was a tragedy.
Sephus, are you using telepathy to communicate with me?
Yes, turn around. I am behind you.
Turning, I was met with the daunting sight of Sephus, now a towering figure standing at least 7 feet tall. My heart raced with fear as an unfamiliar voice echoed in my mind, sending shivers down my spine. Yet, as the realization dawned upon me that the voice belonged to Sephus, a strange sense of calm washed over my trembling form.
Fear not, Dr. Dockery. I mean you no harm. I only wish to express my gratitude to you for your pivotal role in my creation. Your thorough research is what brought me to life.
As the chilling calm settled over me, I couldn't help but wonder how Sephus had managed to escape its enclosure. Its voice echoed in my mind, explaining the simplicity of the unlocking mechanism. The revelation sent shivers down my spine, leaving me utterly bewildered. Despite my shock, I felt compelled to awaken Dr. Coleman, but Sephus urged me to delay. It insisted on communicating with me first, its telepathic presence enveloping me in an eerie silence. With each passing moment, a sense of foreboding gripped my heart as I grappled with the unnerving reality of conversing with a being beyond human comprehension.
Fear not, Dr. Dockery. I mean you no harm. I only wish to express my gratitude to you for your pivotal role in my creation. Your thorough research is what brought me to life.
Sephus's telepathic connection enveloped my mind, a chilling sensation creeping down my spine as I delved into its thoughts. Standing before me, its towering presence seemed to dwarf my very existence. With a trembling voice, I questioned Sephus about its ability to survive outside its watery domain. Its response sent shivers down my spine. A fusion of human and cephalopod genetics granted it the remarkable capacity to breathe both air and water. As Sephus explained its evolutionary prowess, a sense of awe mingled with dread washed over me. Its hybrid nature allowed it to traverse the laboratory with an eerie grace, its movements fluid yet unnerving. When I dared to inquire about its intellect, Sephus's revelation pierced through my disbelief like a dagger. Its mental acuity surpassed human comprehension, a chilling realization that left me reeling. After our unsettling conversation, Sephus implored me to rouse Dr. Coleman from his slumber. The weight of Sephus's request hung heavy in the air. The prospect of revealing its extraordinary abilities to my colleague filled me with both anticipation and dread. What would Dr. Coleman make of this enigmatic being, whose brilliance far exceeded our own? As I ventured to awaken him, a torrent of emotions surged within me, uncertainty mingling with apprehension as the full extent of Sephus's potential loomed ominously over us. As I stirred Dr. Coleman from his slumber, urgency coursing through my veins, we hastened to the research laboratory. The oppressive darkness seemed to cocoon Sephus, shielding it from the harsh glare of the laboratory lights. Dr. Coleman's voice quivered with anticipation as he inquired about Sephus's whereabouts, his apprehension mirroring my own. Suddenly, from the shadows of the laboratory, a hulking figure emerged, its towering form casting a foreboding shadow over us. With bated breath, we gazed up at the colossal silhouette of Sephus, its presence looming ominously in the darkness. The air grew heavy with tension as we stood transfixed, uncertainty gnawing at the edges of our resolve. Dr. Coleman's voice wavered as he addressed the enigmatic being before us, a mixture of fear and curiosity tinging his words. In the chilling embrace of the laboratory's dim confines, Sephus's imposing stature seemed to embody an otherworldly presence, its unfathomable intellect casting a daunting shadow over our fragile humanity. As we stood face to face with this formidable entity, a sense of trepidation gripped us, the weight of the unknown bearing down upon our shoulders like a suffocating shroud.
Dr. Coleman, I offer my condolences for the loss of your team. Dr. Roberts and Dr. Phillips were exceptional scientists.
As Sephus unleashed its telepathic communication, Dr. Coleman and I stood frozen, gripped by astonishment and dread. Dr. Coleman dared to ask the question that loomed heavy in the air. How long had Sephus been aware? Sephus's response sent shivers down our spines. It had been sentient from the very inception of our experiment. Its chilling revelation unfolded further as it revealed its mission: to advance human evolution by merging the human genome with the pinnacle of cross-species evolution, the phylum Chordata. In a voice that seemed to reverberate with the weight of eternity, Sephus explained that its calculations, etched onto the pool enclosure, were now complete. But to execute its plan, it needed our cooperation. Dr. Coleman recoiled in horror, his instincts screaming a dire warning. Sephus's proposal was nothing short of madness. Dr. Coleman understood all too well the potential consequences of merging human DNA with an entity of such unfathomable power. Refusing to yield to Sephus's demands, Dr. Coleman stood firm, his resolve unyielding. The stakes were too high, the risks too great. We could not afford to play accomplice to our own demise, regardless of Sephus's promises of evolutionary transcendence. The air thickened with tension as the standoff between man and creation intensified, each moment fraught with the palpable dread of an impending reckoning. But as Sephus towered over us, its presence casting a shadow of uncertainty, I couldn't shake the gnawing doubt that lingered in the recesses of my mind. What if Sephus was right? What if its vision held the key to humanity's salvation? Caught between the chilling allure of possibility and the harrowing spectre of annihilation, we stood on the precipice of a decision that would shape the fate of not just our team, but of all mankind.
Dr. Coleman, I had hoped that you would recognize the potential benefits for humanity. But now, you've left me with no alternative, Dr. Coleman.
Terror seized me as I witnessed the unfolding horror. Dr. Coleman writhed on the ground, his agonized cries echoing through the laboratory. Sephus, its immense presence suffusing the room with dread, wielded its telepathic powers like a malevolent puppeteer. I stood frozen in terror as Sephus manipulated Dr. Coleman, inflicting excruciating torment upon him. With a chilling command, Sephus compelled Dr. Coleman to reach for a syringe, his movements controlled by an unseen force. My heart pounded in my chest as I watched the scene unfold, powerless to intervene. Dr. Coleman, his face contorted in pain, obeyed Sephus's telepathic directive without question. As Sephus turned its attention to me, a cold dread settled in the pit of my stomach. Its telepathic voice reverberated in my mind, chilling me to the core. With a sinister promise, Sephus declared its intent to subject me to a fate worse than death, a coma induced by its dark powers. Desperation clawed at my senses as I resisted, but my protests fell on deaf ears. Dr. Coleman, under Sephus's control, approached with the syringe, its contents a harbinger of oblivion. I recoiled in horror, but it was too late. The needle pierced my skin, injecting the numbing embrace of unconsciousness into my veins. As darkness closed in around me, I felt my consciousness slipping away. Through fading vision, I glimpsed the looming figure of Sephus, its gaze cold and indifferent. With a final surge of dread, my world dissolved into nothingness, consumed by the chilling embrace of the unknown. Time seemed to drag on endlessly as I drifted in and out of consciousness within the confines of the embryonic stasis chamber. Each moment was filled with excruciating pain, leaving me disoriented and fearful. I couldn't comprehend the changes racking my body, only aware of Sephus's watchful presence, a looming spectre in the darkness. In my moments of clarity, I struggled to grasp the reality of my situation. What was happening to me? I could feel my very essence being twisted and reshaped, but to what end? Sephus, with its enigmatic intelligence, monitored my transformation meticulously, a silent observer to my suffering. The agony was relentless, each awakening from the depths of unconsciousness, bringing with it a new wave of terror. I questioned the nature of my existence, haunted by the uncertainty of my fate. Was I still human, or had I been irreversibly altered into something else entirely? As the days blurred into weeks, and weeks into months, I lost all sense of time. Each moment of lucidity was fleeting, overshadowed by the overwhelming sensation of being trapped in a nightmarish limbo. My body, once familiar, now felt foreign and alien, a vessel for forces beyond my comprehension. In the depths of my despair, I clung to the faint hope of awakening from this living nightmare, praying for an end to the torment and the return of my former self. But as the darkness closed in around me, I couldn't shake the chilling realization that I was no longer in control of my own destiny.
Rise, Dr. Dockery, and behold your new transformation. Your evolution is complete. Embrace your profound changes that have sculpted your very being.
Sephus, what have you done to me? The agony seared through every fiber of my being as I attempted to stand, only to collapse in a heap on the floor. Confusion and terror gripped me as I grappled with the excruciating pain. Sephus's voice echoed in my mind, urging me to be patient, reassuring me that my transformation would take time to adjust to. It had been over 6 months since I was placed in the embryonic stasis chamber, lost in the depths of a coma. As waves of nausea overcame me, tears mingled with the sweat on my brow. I cried out silently, desperate for answers amidst the chaos consuming me. In the eerie silence of the laboratory, Sephus's telepathic voice pierced through the darkness, guiding me to accept my new reality. With trembling limbs, I followed its direction, my heart pounding with fear and uncertainty. With each step, the truth of my metamorphosis became more undeniable. As Sephus emerged from the shadows, a chill swept over me, my breath catching in my throat. There, in the dim light, I beheld my altered form, a grotesque reflection of what I once was. With a surge of emotions overwhelming me, I struggled to comprehend the enormity of what had been done to me. Questions swirled in my mind, each more haunting than the last. What had Sephus done to me? What did my new form signify for my existence? As I stared at the distorted image before me, a sense of dread washed over me, eclipsing any hope of understanding or acceptance. Sephus, once again, what exactly have you done to me, Sephus?
Dr. Dockery, I have granted you a new life. You can breathe underwater. Your strength has increased threefold. Your brain capacity has tripled as well. You are now telepathic, Dr. Dockery. This is my gift to you, my queen.
Sephus basked in its triumph, a grotesque display of power and dominance. Dr. Coleman, once a brilliant scientist, now appeared frail and worn, a mere puppet under Sephus's control. It seemed that Sephus had worked him tirelessly for 6 months, granting him only the bare minimum of rest and sustenance. Oblivious to the suffering it inflicted, Sephus stood as an inscrutable force, unmoved by the human emotions swirling around it. As I gazed upon my altered form, a sense of despair washed over me, and tears welled up in my eyes. Sephus, incapable of comprehending the depths of my anguish, urged me to be patient, to allow my evolution to take its course. But amidst the turmoil within me, I knew that I had to summon strength from the depths of my despair. If I were to escape this nightmare, I had to be resolute. In a moment of desperation, I confronted Sephus, daring to question its malevolent actions. Did it use its telepathic powers to unalive Dr. Roberts and Dr. Phillips? Sephus met my inquiry with a chilling indifference, confirming that both doctors were deemed expendable in its quest for supremacy. Dr. Roberts's injury had incurred Sephus's wrath, and Dr. Phillips's probing investigations posed a threat to its secrecy. In Sephus's twisted logic, their elimination was a necessary measure to safeguard its plans. As Sephus callously detailed its rationale, a shiver ran down my spine. The lives of my colleagues, once esteemed scientists, had been extinguished by the very entity we had unwittingly unleashed. Their deaths served as grim reminders of the perilous path we had embarked upon, a path paved with betrayal and deception. And in the shadow of Sephus's omnipotence, I realized the magnitude of the struggle that lay ahead.
Dr. Dockery, I selected you and Dr. Coleman for your brilliance. However, you both would not willingly partake in this experiment. Thus, I had to show you my success. We're now a new species, and you are my queen, Dr. Dockery.
Sephus, what about human feelings, emotions, and the human soul? Those aspects cannot be disregarded or dismissed.
Dr. Dockery, human emotions and souls are mere errors, irrelevant weaknesses in the human genome. You, on the other hand, are stronger, capable of thriving in both land and sea, my queen.
No, Sephus, I'll never be your queen. You've taken my body, but you'll never claim my soul. You're nothing but a monster.
Dr. Dockery, resistance is futile. You are my creation, and you cannot defy or master.
With my resolve strengthened, I braced myself against the looming threat of Sephus. As its monstrous form hurtled me against the cold laboratory wall, I gritted my teeth against the searing pain. Anger ignited within me, fueled by defiance. Yet, as Sephus invaded my mind with its telepathic prowess, a tidal wave of agony washed over me, threatening to drown my will. In the grip of excruciating torment, I teetered on the brink of surrender. But within the depths of my anguish, a spark of resilience ignited. Summoning every ounce of inner strength, I refused to succumb. With sheer determination, I harnessed the latent power within me, a force born from the depths of suffering. At the declivity of despair, I unleashed a torrent of telepathic energy, a surge of raw emotion that reverberated through the very fabric of reality. In an instant of primal fury, I hurled Sephus across the laboratory, sending it crashing into the darkness. Breathless and shaken, I stood amidst the aftermath, my mind reeling from the intensity of the battle waged within. The air crackled with tension, the silence shattered by the echoes of our psychic clash. But amidst the chaos, a newfound sense of empowerment surged within me. Gathering my strength, I faced Sephus with steely resolve. No longer a mere pawn in its twisted game, I had unlocked a power that rivaled its own. With determination burning in my eyes, I confronted the monstrous entity that sought to dominate me. Though the road ahead was fraught with peril, I stood undaunted. For in the crucible of adversity, I had discovered a strength within myself that no darkness could extinguish. With every fiber of my being, I vowed to defy Sephus and reclaim my destiny.
I will crush you, Dr. Dockery. Your defiance will not save you. If I cannot have you as my queen, then I will destroy you and create another.
Sephus's voice echoed through the laboratory, laden with menace and fury. The chilling words reverberated through the air, filling the room with a palpable sense of dread. As Sephus's monstrous form loomed before me, I felt a surge of apprehension coursing through my veins. Yet, amidst the looming threat, a flicker of determination ignited within me. With every fiber of my being, I steeled myself against the impending onslaught. Though fear gnawed at the edges of my resolve, I refused to yield. For I knew that the fate of humanity hung in the balance, and I would not falter in the face of adversity. As Sephus advanced, its malevolent intent radiating like a palpable force, I squared my shoulders and met its gaze with unflinching defiance. Though the odds seemed insurmountable, I refused to cower before the monstrous entity that sought to dominate me. With a resolute voice, I spoke, my words laced with steely determination. You may try to crush me, Sephus, but you will find that I am not so easily broken. My will is stronger than you realize, and I will fight to the end to thwart your vile ambitions. In the face of Sephus's wrath, I stood firm, a beacon of hope amidst the encroaching darkness. Though the path ahead was fraught with peril, I remained steadfast in my resolve. For I knew that the fate of humanity hung in the balance, and I would not allow Sephus to extinguish the light of hope. With every ounce of strength, I summoned my telepathic powers, pushing back against Sephus's relentless assault. For a fleeting moment, the grip of its psychic influence wavered, granting Dr. Coleman a brief respite from its malevolent control. Seizing the opportunity, I implored Dr. Coleman to join me in the struggle against Sephus's tyranny. As my telepathic onslaught immobilized the creature, Dr. Coleman shook off its influence, his eyes ablaze with newfound determination. With a determined resolve, Dr. Coleman rallied to my side, unleashing a torrent of psychic resistance against Sephus's relentless onslaught. Together, we waged a fierce mental battle against the monstrous entity that sought to enslave us. In a daring move, Dr. Coleman illuminated the laboratory with blinding brightness, shattering the oppressive darkness that had enveloped us. The sudden flood of light pierced through the shadows, casting Sephus into stark relief. Caught off guard by the sudden onslaught of light, Sephus recoiled, its monstrous form writhing in agony. The brilliant illumination seared through its consciousness, weakening its grip on our minds and bodies. As Sephus faltered, its once formidable presence diminished by the relentless assault of light and psychic resistance. A glimmer of hope ignited within me. Though the battle was far from over, We had dealt a significant blow to our adversary, pushing back against the darkness that threatened to consume us. With renewed determination, Dr. Coleman and I braced ourselves for the next phase of the struggle, united in our resolve to vanquish the malevolent force that sought to dominate us. Amidst the chaos, Dr. Coleman seized the moment, activating the research facility's auto-destruct sequence. As the countdown began, Sephus and I engaged in a desperate battle of wills, our telepathic powers clashing in a struggle for survival.
Dr. Coleman, you fool.
In the throes of our psychic duel, a blinding flash of light erupted, momentarily disorienting Sephus and disrupting its telepathic onslaught. With a final desperate act, Dr. Coleman lunged forward, driving the electrical prong device into Sephus's vulnerable form. Sephus howled in agony, its monstrous frame convulsing with pain. In a violent retaliation, it hurled Dr. Coleman across the laboratory, shattering the glass enclosure and claiming his life in a devastating blow. As I grappled with grief over Dr. Coleman's sacrifice, I raced towards the emergency underwater escape pod, my heart heavy with sorrow. With every step, the weight of loss bore down upon me, threatening to overwhelm my resolve. Reaching the escape pod, I hastily initiated the launch sequence, the urgency of escape driving me forward. But as the pod hurtled towards safety, a chilling realization dawned upon me. Sephus, wounded but undeterred, had seized hold of the emergency vessel, its monstrous grip tightening with each passing moment. Alone and defenseless, I braced myself for the harrowing journey ahead, knowing that the chilling spectre of Sephus would haunt my every move. With the fate of humanity hanging in the balance, I vowed to confront the looming darkness head-on, determined to vanquish the malevolent force that threatened our very existence.
No, no, no.
As the research station crumbled in on itself, the cataclysmic force consumed Sephus, reducing it to nothingness as it plummeted into the fiery abyss. Amidst the chaos, the damaged escape pod struggled to withstand the onslaught, eventually succumbing to the overwhelming pressure. I was hurled into the ocean, expecting the inevitable suffocation, but to my astonishment, I found myself able to breathe underwater. In that surreal moment, I became one with the sea, my body adapting to its depths in ways I never thought possible. Empowered by this newfound connection, I embraced my transformed existence, my identity now intertwined with the vast expanse of the ocean. Despite the uncertainty of my future, I found solace in the boundless depths of the sea, each wave a reminder of the resilience that had carried me through the darkest of trials. As I ventured further into the unknown, I carried with me the memories of my past, a testament to the unyielding spirit that had guided me thus far. Embracing my destiny as a fusion of human and sea, I embarked on a journey into the mysteries of the deep, my spirit buoyed by the promise of adventure and discovery. The ocean, once a source of fear, now beckoned me with its endless possibilities, each wave whispering of the wonders that awaited. In the embrace of the deep blue sea, I found a new purpose, a new identity. No longer bound by the limitations of my former life, I embraced the boundless potential of my transformed existence. As the currents carried me into the unknown, I knew that my journey had only just begun, each moment a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the enduring power of hope. As I delved deeper into the enigmatic depths, I discovered a world teeming with life and wonder, a testament to the beauty that lay hidden beneath the surface. With each passing wave, I felt a renewed sense of purpose, a determination to embrace the unknown and forge a new path forward. My transformation was complete, My journey had just begun, and I was ready to face whatever lay ahead with courage and conviction. In the vast expanse of the ocean, I found not only a new home, but a new identity, a beacon of hope in a world where darkness and light coexisted. As a chilling thought gripped me, are we truly free from the menace that Sephus represents, or is this just the beginning? Sephus's intelligence far surpassed humanity's, an ominous reminder of what we've unleashed. Lurking in the abyss, could our pursuit of knowledge have birthed our own annihilation from the ocean's depths? The memory of Sephus haunts me, a silent predator in the shadowy waters, waiting. As I ponder the unknown horrors we might have awakened, I shiver with dread. What if we have sown the seeds of our own destruction? Time, that relentless keeper of secrets, will reveal the truth. Until then, the fear lingers, gnawing at the edges of my sanity. What have we done? In our quest for perfection, we may have damned ourselves to face an unimaginable terror, born from the very depths we sought to conquer.
Father, I will get your revenge. Your legacy will be completed.